You are now tuned into First and Locks with Rico's Locks and Coach BK Picks.
Welcome back to the First and Locks podcast, y'all. It's your host, Rico's Locks here with my co-host, BK. How you doing today, BK?
Doing well, brother. Had a great weekend. Spent it with the family. Watched some football with the pops, man. Now we get to talk some football.
Hell yeah. Week 4. Week 3 was good last week. That's what we're going to go over first, and then we'll get into week 4. We had a decent weekend. How was your weekend?
I did all right. I think I went like 6-2. Like, it was straight. But, I mean, dude, West Virginia killed me. We'll get to them.
Dude, yeah. West Virginia sold us on a lot of money.
They're bad.
We went live again Saturday, gave out a bunch of picks for y'all. A lot of them hit. A lot of them that we talked about hit. We'll go over those. But yeah, starting with the Thursday slate or the Thursday game, I had Texas State and Arizona State. And in that game, I had Texas State, and that was a big disappointment. Got them when they were plus money when we talked about on the podcast. And I ended up giving it out that night at plus 110. And, man, they looked good until they didn't. They started up 21-7. They looked good. And then the play calling second half and mixture of that, and the defense couldn't stop the run.
Yeah, the thing for me that was frustrating about that game, it was like every single time the defense turned it on, the offense was quiet, and every single time the offense finally scored, the defense started giving up everything. It was like
First half they were making big plays, and then second half they kept trying to go for the big play, and it was just too obvious they weren't switching up anything. Play calling wasn't great. So yeah, that was a bad L there, but I mean, I still think it was the right side, right play, but it just didn't go our way. They outgained them in yards. I mean, just how it goes sometimes.
Yep.
On to the next, we had UNLV Kansas on Friday, which was a shocking result because we both said we thought Kansas would, probably win that by double digits, bouncing back after losing to Illinois. And then they go to they didn't really play a home game. They're playing at that soccer stadium for now. But still, even so, it's still a home game for them. And they're 9.5-point favorites and lose outright.
Yeah.
Wild, man. I personally didn't bet that game, but it was wild.
Yeah, I mean, it's just crazy to me. They have all this talent, especially on the perimeter, dude. Like, they have Grims, he's solid. They have Neal, he's solid. And there's a great running back, explosive speed. Jalen's done his thing, but he just keeps turning the freaking ball over, man.
He just looks out of sync. The offense just looks out of sync to me, man.
Just
I was watching. They couldn't get. He was forcing a lot of throws. Couldn't get anything going, running it or throwing it. It was rough to watch, honestly. And it's not like UNLV's defense is all that. So
no.
Yeah, that was a disappointing loss, and we'll talk about who Kansas is going to play next week because it's funny.
Jesus.
But moving on, then we had Arizona going to Kansas State, and Kansas State just destroyed them. And we thought Arizona as a dog was going to go in there and win that game, and Kansas State just destroyed them. Avery Johnson showed out, did his thing. Their defense was relentless in that game, which versus Tulane, they did whatever they wanted pretty much. And then next week they go home and they buckled down. It was crazy. So that was a bad loss there. But
yeah, I mean, what shocked me in that game was, I think where Arizona lacked was they didn't run the ball. Tulane ran the ball all stinking day versus Kansas State. And I don't know, they kind of relied on their DBs, which shocked me because it's not like they have the best group. But, I mean, hey, they all stepped up when they needed it. Avery Johnson looked great. Giddens looked great. I don't know. They got some athletes on that team, man, but I don't think they're going to be there for the long haul.
Yeah, Arizona seems kind of one-dimensional, man. Like they
can only
throw the ball, and they only throw it to McMillan. It seems like they need to establish a run game or something.
For sure,
they did not look good at all. Moving on, they got crushed though. That was a bad loss. Moving on, we had Memphis. We're going to the Saturday slate games where we'll start with Memphis and Florida State. And once again, we said it on the live Saturday. You don't want to bet this Florida State team, man. It's a falling knife. I said it. If anything, take Memphis. I didn't bet the game myself. I wish I did. Kicking myself. That's one of those games I'm kicking myself about. I wish I took. But yeah, we both said Memphis, and rightfully so. And they win 20-12 in a gross game. DJU can't do anything once again. What do you think about that?
Mike Norvell says he still gives us a chance.
Yeah,
That
he went
mess
on
is
today and said that.
hilarious.
It's crazy. I can't believe he went out and said that today. I saw that
Right.
post. I was like, no way.
He said he still gives us a chance and he thinks his preparation each week is excellent. Who
That's insane.
cares? Y'all are 0-3. Who cares what his preparation looks like? Like, I don't know,
Insane.
man. It's terrible, man. How do you leave him out there too? Like they openly said they're going to start him next week. How do you not throw the backup out there? I don't care who you throw out there.
Right. At this
Like,
point, I mean, you're
somebody.
0-3. Like, might as well change it up now. This guy's
Yeah.
not going to be. No, he's not. I don't think he's going to the league. He's going
It's
to be
so
working.
crazy. It is so crazy to me how Mike Norvell went from, having the season he did last year to going to what's it called? Almost going to Bama, and then having to stay at FSU, ended up with DJ, and now they're 0-3. Like
Yeah,
those span of like 4 or 5 months is wild.
it is wild.
Talk
It
about
should-
the highest of highs being considered for the Bama job to going 0-3 for the first time as a top 10 AP team coming into the season.
And now he doesn't even know. Like, now that he's kind of not on the hot seat, but like, kinda. I mean,
Dude, like, I just don't understand it. Like, there is no way on God's green earth you could sit there and explain to me, if you're Mike Norvell, how in the world you thought DJU was going to be able to run the same offense Jordan Travis did. You
No.
can't. Like,
No.
there's no way. Like,
No.
I don't know, man.
right? Two completely different kind of play styles.
Yeah.
It wasn't going to work.
And they rely so heavily on the rollout, the quarterback option, stuff like that. Like, DJ can't do any of those things.
No.
So,
Shoot, he needs to work on accuracy more than anything. Rough. Anyways, we'll move on from that. We're not going to get into this one, but just think it's kind of funny that NC State was struggling with Louisiana Tech at home. They were losing at halftime 17-6. They go on to win that one 30-20. They got CJ Bailey in there playing quarterback now, who we'll talk about when we get to that game versus Clemson this
Yes,
week. I know you're hyped about that one.
Yes, sir.
So yeah, that was interesting to see. Any other important games? Hold on a second. Yeah, we'll go over LSU, South Carolina, and this was a wild game because just like how I said on the live on Saturday, I think South Carolina is going to get out to a fast start, and they did, and they punched LSU in the mouth to start the game, and then LSU creeped back. Lenore Sellers got hurt, unfortunately. But yeah, LSU ends up kicking didn't they end up kicking a game-winning field goal? Am I
No.
mistaken? What
They
happened?
kicked the field goal, and then South Carolina went down and then missed the field goal to try and tie the game.
That's right. Okay. Yeah,
So,
but regardless, that was a good game. LSU makes the comeback. Yeah.
had a
What do you think?
-6.5, bad beat. Can't stand it. They just got started too late, man. I mean, you said it
Mhm.
on the live. You thought that South Carolina was going to get out to the fast
It was
start.
the crowd, man. That crowd
just
was
couldn't
so
see it.
live, bro.
I just couldn't see it, bro. Like, there's no way anybody could sit there and tell me Lenore Sellers was going to run for 75 yards.
Dude, he looked like Cam Newton out there.
Yeah,
Dude,
like, I
it
don't
was
know, man.
wild.
I hate it for the
Yeah.
kid, man. He's a stud. He's a stud of a talent. I don't care.
Do you
if
know
he is
the
playing for
extent
the
of his
Cougs.
injury? I don't know.
No, I haven't heard anything yet, nor have I really looked. I don't really pay attention
Yeah,
to
yeah.
South Carolina news. I can promise you that.
I hear you. Moving on, we had what else? Alabama, Wisconsin. And this is a game that I thought Wisconsin was going to keep close, but unfortunately for them as well, Tyler Van Dyke gets hurt in one of the first drives of the game, and then he goes down. Unfortunately for them, that's not saying they would have covered if he would have played. They may have, but who knows? They were keeping it close at first, and then ultimately Alabama blew it open and did what Alabama does. Ryan Williams with the touchdown in the end zone was beautiful.
Bro, Hollywood is
amazing.
gross.
Yeah, that was
That
amazing.
kid, he's a 5-star freshman, and he is gross. Go watch his tape from last
17
weekend.
years old.
Yeah,
Insane.
17 years old starting. Like,
right, dude, that's just insane. Yeah, he made a crazy catch. Jalen Milrose coming out looking like one of the Heisman favorites, looking really good right now. Alabama's looking scary, man. I mean, people thought they might drop off just because the coaching change and stuff like that, but he's holding his team together. The offense is looking strong. But yeah, Wisconsin got rolled over in that one, man.
For sure.
Moving on, we had Boston College going to Missouri, and this is another one where I thought Missouri was gonna, make a statement here, and they really didn't.
They
and
had
they
a
didn't really
chance
impress
to.
me. Yeah, they were borderline covering some of the game, and then they just kept giving up kept giving up scores to Boston College. They kept
Yeah,
staying in it, and yeah,
they were
they
up by 13 at one point, I want to say,
at the end of the
and
game, and then Boston College
yeah,
gets a touchdown at the end.
I
Yeah,
was like, man, sneaky. It wasn't necessarily a backdoor cover because it happened like, midway through the fourth or something like that. But even still, man, like I definitely thought that Missouri was going to pull away at some point, but Boston College just stayed in it, and that's credit to Bill O'Brien, man. We said this last week. He's rebuilt that team extremely fast.
yeah,
They were one of the worst teams in the ACC with Hafley last year. So
and Castellanos is looking good.
looking
So
real
far.
good. Yeah,
Yeah, so
man.
far he's looking like he's playing good, man.
Yeah.
So if he keeps it up, Boston College could make be those upset games for those. Hold on, let me see who they got that is really tough on their schedule. I mean, yeah, I mean they could upset Louisville at home. They could upset Syracuse at home. I mean, it's not
Wait a
really an
minute.
upset. Yeah,
You
they got
said it
Louisville.
right.
Yeah, I did.
You
Louisville at
always say it
home.
wrong.
UNC at home. They could beat UNC. Unfortunately, I think. Yeah, but moving on, this is when we get to the game where that cost us some money this weekend.
Oh God.
West
Do we
Virginia,
got
Pittsburgh. West Virginia, Pittsburgh, and this one hurt.
to?
These fools were up 10 points with about 3 minutes and 30 seconds to go in the game, and I thought the game was over. All of a sudden, Pitt's driving real quick after that, puts the game to 3 points, and now I'm like, oh God. And then West Virginia, goes 3 and out like immediately. All of a sudden, they're kicking back to Pitt. Pitt goes down the field, scores a touchdown, wins the game.
In a matter of, I think it was like 47 seconds left is what they
Yeah,
had.
they went right down. West Virginia's defense is Swiss cheese, and that's what I was worried about going into this game. But I thought they would, in a battle like this, they would be the ones who get it done. And ultimately, they should have got it done, but they choked it. So
when I tell you,
I heard a lot of our tickets, had them on a bunch of parlays. That hurt.
Yeah. No, dude, trust me, they hurt me real bad. I'll say that much. But no, they when they went up by 10, me and my dad changed it. We changed it to a different game. I can't remember what game we changed it to. And then I saw the ticker on the bottom of the screen. It was like they were only up by 3. I was like, what the hell happened? Like, and they were up by 10 with 3 minutes to go. Like, there's no reason you lose that football game. That's a terrible way to lose. Yeah, exactly. That's coaching. That's exactly what that is. That's Narduzzi being the better head coach.
Unreal, dude. That was a bad loss. I was real pissed about that. Other than that, don't really want to touch on those because we didn't have bets. Washington State.
Yeah,
we talked about this one on the live, and we said, or did you say Washington? Yeah, you agreed there too. We had Washington State with the points, and they won. So that was a good win there. Yeah, they won outright, despite Washington outgaining them by almost 100 yards. They get the win. Yeah,
dude, that game came down to the wire. They got it within the 10-yard line. Will Rogers attempted fourth down play. I think that was on like the 3 or 4 yard line. And out of all things, why in the world they ran a speed option with Will Rogers baffles the shit out of me. But I mean, hey, whatever. I'm not Washington's coach, and I had Washington State, so I don't care.
Right, we'll take it. Thank you. Appreciate that. That was a good win there. Good plus money there. Moving on, we had what else? Texas A&M and Florida. And once again, I didn't either. I ended up not betting it either.
Good.
Once again, Florida falls flat on their face, comes out in the first half with no points.
Oh my God.
Down 20-0, and in the first half, I mean, you're pretty much beat from there for the most part, most of the time.
Man.
They end up losing by 13. They kind of did some stuff in the second half, but too little, too late.
Yeah.
I
can tell you right now, for those that don't know this, Billy Napier's contract, the boosters have raised enough money to be able to buy him out of his final year of his deal, which is $25.6 million. And I expect that to happen extremely soon. And when I tell you Lane Kiffin is going to be the next head coach of Florida University, it's going to happen. There's no way it's not, bro. People that say there's no way he goes there, they're just not thinking straight, dude. They have the recruiting. Yeah. I mean, Florida's a hotbed. They have the facilities, some of the best in the SEC. They have the program history. And Josh Pate said it best, man. he said he had somebody ask him. He said, what can you do at Ole Miss that you can't do at Florida? Win national titles.
Yeah. Right.
Plain and simple. Like, I don't know. I wouldn't be shocked whatsoever if it happens, man.
100%. I agree. I know
Napier's
if
terrible.
that's ultimately going to happen, but Napier is going to be gone by then.
Napier is terrible.
Bad, bro. Yeah, moving on. This is when we get to the bet where I talked about that I really liked on the podcast starting the week. Appalachian State, ECU, and this was a sweaty one. First quarter, go down immediately to start the game.
17-0.
First off, they start off the game with a 60-yard bomb to start the game, and we're down 7-0 off rip. And I'm like, oh God, here we go. And then after that, they throw a pick six.
Yep.
A couple possessions later, they throw a pick six. It's 14-0. And they missed extra point. So then they kicked a field goal. So it ended up being 16-0. And then I think scored before the half, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
Or were they down 16-0 at the half?
No.
I gotta check.
No, they weren't.
No, they ended up scoring. Yeah, they made it 16-14 by the end of the half.
Mm-hmm.
And then I was like, all right, we're in this game. And then we scored in the third, made it 21-16, and then ECU only ended up getting a field goal. But dude, that game was so sweaty. I was sweating the whole time.
Yeah.
Just thanking myself I took the money line. I know I said 2.5 on here, but it ended up moving to money line. So that's what I ended up taking it at. And yeah, it was a good win. All right. And moving on from that game, we'll go to what we got next. Well, UNC rolled North Carolina Central. Let's go. 3-0 start. We're 3-0 start for the boys. Let's go. That's hype. I'm excited for that. Not really, because I still know that
what's coming.
Yeah, I know it's coming. And we'll talk about it because we actually have an interesting spread this weekend versus a smaller school. We'll get to that. But moving on, what other games we want to recap here? There's not many more I really want to talk about.
UCF for sure.
Yeah, UCF TCU. That was a crazy game.
Crazy game, man.
TCU was up early, cooking early, and then UCF makes a big comeback in the second half and wins that game by 1 point.
You see,
RJ Harvey went off 29 carries for 180 yards, 2 touchdowns. Whew.
Did you see what Gus said at the end of that game?
No, I didn't actually.
He said we beat TCU and the refs.
That's funny.
That's Malzahn for you, boy. But man, it was a great game. It was sweaty as hell. We both said UCF on the live. I about said UFC. Still thinking about Sean. Anyway. But yeah, man. We both said UCF. It was a great game, close game, crazy game. 2 really good coaches. Love them both, but one's got to win.
Yeah, what a comeback by UCF there.
For sure.
That's why the game spread was so close. I mean, it was a shootout. Over 1,000. No, about 1,000 yards between both the teams. So
that's wild.
Georgia barely squeaking by Kentucky.
Oh wow. Yeah, that's one we have to talk about because I am going to rip into Kentucky's coach. Remind me of his name.
Kentucky, is it Stoops?
Is it Mark?
Mark Stoops?
Yes. Yeah. Okay. I was trying to remember which Stoops brother it was. I didn't want to say the wrong one. That's the UFL coach. But yeah, man, Bob's his name. No, but dude, how do you punt that ball? How do you punt that ball with what was it? 3 minutes left?
Yeah.
And you were on the midfield, 3 yards. You punt it.
I just couldn't believe Georgia's offense couldn't do anything.
Well, yeah, I get that part, but I mean, dude, you're in the game. Go for it. Let your nuts hang. Like, come on, man. Like, there's no way you can explain to me why in the world they punted that ball. Oh, our defense has been stopping them all game. Who cares? Like, you're playing the number one team in the nation.
Yeah.
You're playing the number one team in the nation. Go try and win the freaking game. Because if they would have went for it on that play and they wouldn't have got it, you could say, well, at least we did everything we could. You understand what I'm saying? Like,
right.
But no, instead you look like a sissy. You punted the ball and then Georgia ran it out. Stupid.
Yeah. 13-12 win. That's crazy over Kentucky. People are going to look at that and be like,
cost Georgia the number one team in the nation too.
Yeah. Texas is now the new number one.
Hook 'em.
And then other than that, Maryland, Virginia, thank God Maryland got this win. I was glad about that.
All week.
Yeah,
I said it all week. There was no way, bro.
I was very happy about that. I needed Maryland to win that game
No,
for
I
my
know you
under.
needed them. You needed them for
Yeah.
your under. Yeah, I needed them because I took Maryland. It was an ugly game. I did not like it, but I mean, at the end of the day, I knew there was no way anybody could convince me. Yeah, Virginia should be minus
Home.
2.5 favorites. Like,
They should be
why?
favorites at
Where?
home.
Like,
Yeah, no. I agree with you there. But yeah, other than that, we'll move on. We will go to this week's slate
yeah.
where we will start with the team that just made us some money, and that is the Appalachian State. They're playing South Alabama at home. And they are what, 7.5-point favorites, 8-point favorites on some books. What do you think about that?
App State's favorite?
Yeah, 7.5 at home versus South Alabama.
I don't know. I might take South Alabama the other way, honestly. I mean, they just rocked whoever they played. I can't remember who in the world they played.
It was Northwestern State.
Oh, okay. Well, that makes more sense now. I mean, all I saw was how many freaking points they scored, but still, okay. I guess that makes it a little bit different. I don't know, man. App States just look dry. Like they don't look like the App State teams that we're usually used to.
No, they can't run the ball.
No,
they can't
at
run,
all.
They can't run the ball like normal App State teams can.
No.
And that's what had me worried in that ECU game. Thank God Joey Aguilar made some good plays.
He also made some bonehead.
But he also made some bonehead plays.
Yeah.
Yes, he did. He was kind of looking like Jake Garcia at some time.
No, you killed me. You killed me in that game because during the first quarter, you were like, "Yeah, man, Jake Garcia looks like Tom freaking Brady right now." You were so
of course. I had my money on the other side. He looks like Tom Brady.
You said this man looks like Tom Brady. I said this man said Jake Garcia is looking like Tom Brady. I know Rick was pissed.
Oh, bro, and then he finally
he came to form.
Yeah, he came to his normal form. So, anyways, in this one, man, I kind of lean the South Alabama side too.
Okay.
I think it's kind of look ahead spot for App State too because they're playing Liberty at home the next week.
Yeah,
Liberty is at home. That's a tough game. I mean, Liberty's probably going to be favored in that game. So I think it's a look ahead spot. South Alabama could cover that 7.5. That's what I would lean on.
for sure.
Yeah, they played Northwestern State, but I think they're ready for some competition here.
I remember now. They what's it called? It's only like the second or third time in NCAA history that a team was winning by so much at halftime that they lowered the time of the third and fourth quarter.
That shit's great. That's
5 minutes is all they played in the third and fourth quarter.
That's embarrassing.
5 minutes, bro.
That's crazy. Yeah, they really killed them. But yeah, I would lean South Alabama in that game. Probably. Yeah. I'm not even sure I'm going to bet it yet, but if I had to choose a side, that's probably where I'm going with it. And then the Friday nights, that's all they have on Thursday night. And then Friday night, we got Stanford at Syracuse, where Syracuse is a 9.5-point favorite here. What you think about this?
Yeah, this is one of the games I've been looking at. I really like Syracuse. Buy it down a point, take the alt line, -6.5. I don't care what the idiots have to say about taking alt lines. I'm going to take it below a touchdown. I'm not going to bet them 7.5. That's idiotic. Anyway, yeah, man, give me Syracuse alt line. 6.5 is where I like that one. What about you?
This one's tough. I don't like these 9.5, 8.5 point spreads.
Yeah.
Stanford's is just not good to me though.
Nope. Defense is Swiss cheese.
I can't trust them in the dome on a Friday night. No shot. Yeah, if I had to, I would probably go Syracuse here with the points. It's not something I love really. Because they are coming off a big win versus Georgia Tech. So I don't love it, but if I had to pick a side, that's who I would go with. Not sure I would bet this one either.
Okay.
But that's who I would lean on is Syracuse at home. I don't see Stanford. I just feel like Syracuse pulls away. I feel like Stanford can keep it close at first, but I think ultimately they'll pull away.
Yeah.
Just being in the dome at home. And McCord's look good so far.
That place is going to be rocking on a Friday night, bro.
Right. Even though it's Stanford, it's still going to be.
Yeah. No, I'll definitely be looking at the line of this game. If it drops like maybe a full point or so, I'll probably jump on it. Like I said, if I'm going to take them, it's going to be at 6.5. But, I mean, I'm not going to take them at 6.5 at some crazy freaking odds either. You know what I'm saying? Not about to bet no freaking 210. That's for sure.
No. And then we got Illinois and Nebraska. Illinois 3-0 going to Nebraska 3-0. Both these teams ranked in the top 25. So it's going to be a good one.
Who you rocking?
Illinois coming off a big win versus Kansas. Who they just beat? They just beat Central Michigan. I mean, that's not impressive at all, obviously, but Nebraska's looked pretty good so far. Raiola, the Mahomes 2.0, literally copying everything he does. Kind of creepy at this point. Like,
Did you see
dude, he does the thing,
the introduction he does where he goes to
bro.
the corner of
Yeah,
the end zone? I was like, this dude is just comedy at this point,
that's
man.
kind of just cringe, bro. Like, stop, dude.
Trying to be a doppelganger.
That's too much, dude. Like, it's just getting creepy at this point.
Yeah, it's weird.
But he's good. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah,
but
he's a
it's just like,
dog.
dude,
I wish we
be
had him.
yourself.
So
Right. It's like, bro, be yourself, my guy. Come on.
yeah,
Anyways, yeah, in that game, got Nebraska -9 at home. God, just another. I think that's too many points. I feel like Illinois keeps this one's close. They've looked
Yeah.
good so far. Yeah, I think Altmaier's look good so far this year. I think they get it done here and keep it close. Maybe even win this one. Yeah, I think I rolled with Illinois with the 9 points.
interesting.
Even though Nebraska is better on both sides of the ball.
I don't think they're better
line-
defensively.
Defensive line's better, but yeah.
On which
I
side,
think
Illinois or Nebraska?
on our Nebraska side, defensive line's way better, I think.
Then Illinois?
You think
That's
so?
all Illinois. That's all Illinois produces is defensive line, essentially. At this point, I don't know. Me personally, I think they have the way better defense, but I don't. I mean, regardless,
Nebraska to me has a better defense, but regardless of that, I just think the number's too high. The
I hear you.
over-under is really low in this game too at 43 points. Yeah, I think Illinois covers here, maybe even wins. I think Altmaier's playing good. I think he can match Raiola. Maybe not, but I think he can match him in this game.
All right.
Give me Illinois.
I'm on the opposite. I'm hoping the line drops. So I definitely think Nebraska is going to win the game, but I'm on the opposite of it. The only way I'm going to touch it is if that line drops. I'm not taking them at 9.
Illinois' offense has just looked decent to me. They've kept
Well, they're always
they-
solid. They run the ball pretty decently always. So, I mean,
Can they
Altmaier's got to be decent.
right. Can they play good against a good Nebraska defense though? We'll see.
Yep.
Both defenses have looked solid though, for sure. Next we have NC State Clemson.
Yeah.
And this is the Saturday slate now. I don't really want to talk about. I don't want to talk about Washington State, San Jose State, really.
Ew.
We'll go to NC State Clemson, which is a game at noon. Got NC State coming in here as 20.5 point underdogs now. It moved
It's 20 and a half?
It's 20.5 now.
I checked it this morning and it was freaking 17.
It's at 20.5 now.
No shot.
Swear. I can show you on the screen. 20.5.
Well, it ain't gonna
Can't
come
really
through.
see
It
it.
ain't gonna focus. Oh well, even still, that's wild. That's wild.
Clemson is minus 20.5.
It's probably
home.
because they announced Bailey's gonna play. But
Yeah.
I don't know, man. Do I think we cover that? Probably not, because it's State, and State always figures out some freaking way to make it a headache when we play them.
They do.
We're gonna win that game regardless. I ain't worried about it. Hopefully, Cade keeps up what he had in the App State game. Keep showing it to me, man. You get 7 touchdowns in a freaking half, and you sit the rest of the game. That gives you plenty of preparation. We had a bye week as well. Just go out there and punch him in the freaking mouth. That's what I want.
This
I'm
is
not
this is one of the biggest moves on a spread I've seen in college football in a long time. This thing went from 7.5 on August 24th all the way to 20.5 today. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Almost 2 touchdowns.
Yeah.
That's wild. I've never seen something like that. Yeah, still I would lean with NC State with the 20.5. I mean, I just think that's too many. I think he looked pretty good. I know
Versus who, though?
I know. It's different coming in playing your first starting game, in Death Valley. It's not easy. So
No.
but still 20.5 is crazy. I don't know. I'm not betting that game.
No, no way. No shot.
That number is way too crazy. But if I would take NC State.
It's ballooned. It's just ballooned way too much. I mean, at the end of the day, in my opinion, it should be probably closer to I don't know where it was this morning, 17.
I was thinking 16.
16 and a half, something like that. If it was there, I'd probably take it. But I can't take it at no 20, bro. That's way too damn high.
Yeah. And essentially it makes me think.
Coach BK, I have a question for you. When I see a line so wide, I'm going to attack this differently. instead of looking at the dog and the point spread and everything else, I sort of like to see, is there going to be any books that would have props on this game? Because if Clemson is going to be expected to be such a wide line, they're going to have their day. Give me some props. You're the in tune man with the Clemson. I want to hear some motherfucking props.
That's the case. You want to hear some props? If I had to pick one, it's probably going to be take the young guns for anytime touchdown. That'd be T.J. Moore, Brian Wesco. They had great games last week, or not last week, week 2 rather. We had a bye. Wesco had 137 yards, and T.J. Moore had 40 and a tub. So take those young guns, maybe sprinkle it. Jake Brenningstool is pretty much an automatic touchdown, at least one in a day. Cade Klubnik, I mean, he's showing the ability to be able to do the read option at the goal line. So anytime touchdown for him at the line is not crazy either. So I don't know. Those would be a couple that I would name off. Maffa's going to be too easy. You know what I'm saying? Like, his odds aren't going to be great. Everybody's going to expect him to score. You understand what I mean? Like, so surefire. If you want surefire, sure, go Maffa. But
if we're expecting probably a lot of points, I mean, it's valuable. You'll probably hit multiple touchdown props. So, I mean, in the order in which you said it probably is the value in which they would probably hit.
Yep.
So, I mean, I just wanted to ask that guy, sort of interrupt.
No, you're good.
You're good.
Yeah, man.
Moving on. Now we'll talk about my team. So we got UNC hosting James Madison, and we're only 10.5-point favorites at home. 12 o'clock game. What do you think about this? Any thoughts for you first, and I'll say what I have to say.
JMU's not JMU of last year, but can I lay that much points on your defense?
That number scares me. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, dude. Like, I don't know, dude. Your defense is just so rough.
Yeah, it is. It's very rough.
Like somebody can just open up and pass for 300 yards in a game on you, and they're like not even like a good passer. But I don't know, man. Like I said, James Madison is not James Madison of last year. That is for sure. So I know that's why the line is the way it is. UNC's been playing pretty freaking well, but I don't know, dude.
I feel like we win this game by 2 touchdowns and cover the number. I would go with us in this spot.
I respect.
I feel like people are gonna think it's sharp to take James Madison here, going to Carolina, and we've played 2 soft teams in a row, so people think that maybe we're due for a letdown, and what I'm saying, make it a closer game than it should be because we played 2 soft games in a row. But I think we get it done, man. 10.5. I think we get it done. Next week we go to Duke.
Ew.
Yeah, that's real. That's the only thing that could be worrisome about the spread because we're looking ahead to Duke. But
yeah,
I would still roll with us here if I had to pick. And as far as props for us, I would go Nesbitt touchdown. I mean, I could give you Hampton. That's the obvious.
Yeah, exactly.
Nesbitt
that's the
touchdown.
Same reason why I didn't want to give Maffa. It's just so freaking obvious. Like,
right. I like the tight end to get in the end zone. Bryson Nesbitt, big target. He's definitely going to be like probably plus 180 or higher, I would imagine. So that'd be a good touchdown bet. Moving on, we got the game where we were talking about earlier, where we were like, damn, these 2 teams are playing, of course.
Oh, God.
We got Kansas going to West Virginia. Both these teams who have been just losing people money.
Both these
West Virginia.
Banned.
Yeah, they're banned. I'm sick
They're
of West
banned.
Virginia. Sick
Both
of the
of
country. If I hear that country road song again, I'm gonna fucking break something.
Yeah.
But yeah, West Virginia is the minus 2.5-point favorite here at home. Kansas just hasn't looked, like I said earlier on the podcast, they just haven't looked in sync, man. Like, I can't get a read on this team right now. They haven't looked good on offense. I don't know what to expect here. I kind of like them as dogs, but at the same time, West Virginia is, like I said, always a tough place to play.
I don't know, dude. Like,
I just can't trust the coaching for West Virginia, man. Like, what are y'all doing, man?
Yeah, coaching definitely is better at Kansas. I can promise you that.
Both defenses are Swiss cheese.
Yeah, they're both shit. So that's not going to matter. If you're talking athletes, Kansas has the better athletes, but I'm not touching this game.
I favor Garrett Green, though. I favor Garrett Green though over Jalen Daniels right now. Garrett Green looked. I mean, it's not like he didn't look good versus Pitt. It's not like he didn't have a good game. It's just the defense.
I think
play
Daniel's
calling.
legs. I think Daniel's legs makes him such an asset. So
Oh, for sure. He just, dude, his passing though. He
just
looked
makes dumb
rough.
choices. Dumb choices.
Yeah, he was looking rough in the passing game. Throwing a lot of picks so far too. Like you said, bad mistakes. Yeah, I would lean West Virginia in this spot though. I don't think I'm dumb enough to bet him again right now. I'm good, but sometimes you gotta chase. Sometimes you have to chase the spots though that you think like that are not gonna. You got to sometimes just go with what you know, and just keep going at a team.
Yeah,
and think they're due. Sometimes I don't know, but
can't.
I'm probably staying off that game. But I would lean West Virginia. Nothing there for you.
No, it's absolute ban for me for both teams. I'm not. If I had to pick a side, it's probably going to be West Virginia, but I'm not touching that game with a 10-foot pole. Both those teams are banned.
All right, moving on. We got Florida going to Mississippi State, and we got Florida at the -5.5 point favorite here. Can we trust Florida with any points? Or
there is no way on God's green earth that I'm not taking that. You could.
Really?
I mean, dude, it could be the most square bet possible of the weekend. Mississippi State is terrible.
They just got destroyed by Toledo.
By Toledo. Oh yeah,
Fun fact.
Toledo
we
is
didn't talk about
3-0.
that one either.
Toledo is 3-0 versus the SEC since 2015. Ohio State is 0-3.
I saw you sent that earlier. I was like, wow, that's crazy.
That is a wild stat.
We forgot to talk about that one earlier, and on the live during Saturday on the live, I said to take Toledo with the points.
Yeah.
I was like, this spread is weird. I know this Mississippi State team is not good. And boom, they won outright. They crushed them like 41-10. But yeah, they're 5-point dogs at home here. 5.5 point dogs versus a Florida team that just hasn't looked good either. But you gotta think they have the better talent here.
Yeah,
100%. Just the better team here, regardless of the coaching. You got to roll with Florida.
Yeah, they're going to own the trenches in this game. There is no way I'm about to bet on freaking Mississippi State. And Florida's about to play Lagway by what I've heard. They're going to go to him full time next week. So,
good. Please.
Dude, like there's no way. Mississippi State is bad. Like bad.
They're bad. We talked about that in the beginning of the season when we broke down the SEC that they were going to be bad. Like, I think I had them rated my first or second worst team in the SEC. Yeah, I agree with you. It's Florida or nothing in that game. That could definitely be a bet there. So y'all write that one down. Moving on, we'll go to. I don't really want to talk about that. It's just two gross teams. Houston, Cincinnati. I mean, anything for you there? I don't have a bet or any thoughts there really. I wouldn't touch that game. Yeah. So what do you think about this Houston game versus Cincinnati? Going into Cincinnati, +3.5 on the road, or going on the road to Cincinnati. Cincinnati 2-1, coming off a win versus Miami of Ohio, where that was a close spread in that game, and they got the job done. Won 27-16. Houston so far hasn't looked good. They just came off a win versus Rice, though, so they're now 1-2. What do you think about this one?
I don't know, man. Something screams to me Houston money line when I look at this game for some reason.
I think it's the spread telling you that in the line.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking the same thing.
Yeah, it just screams Houston money line. Because, I mean, at the end of the day, they had a great week last week. Yeah, it's versus food. But yeah, I don't know, man. For me, it's Houston money line or nothing. I haven't decided on it yet. But, yeah, I wrote it down. Got it over here in the side of the chat looking at it. But, yeah, that's pretty much the only way I'm going to go, just because based off of the fact that they had a really great week last week, punched Rice in the mouth. It is Rice. I get that part of it. But since he hasn't looked impressive either. So, yeah, give me Houston money line if I'm going to rock anyway of it.
Yeah, that's where I would lean to, man. Nothing really I really want to break down there, to be honest.
No.
I strictly like that play because of where the line is set. I know people are down on Houston this year. Just depends on where that line goes and all that kind of stuff there. But yeah, I would lean Houston. Moving on, we will get to a game that I actually decently like. and I think you'll agree with me here. We
Think
got
about
Virginia
Yeah.
going to Coastal Carolina.
Yeah.
And this is an interesting spot here. We got Virginia -3.5 on the road at Coastal Carolina. Give me Coastal Carolina
Yeah.
+3.5.
Yeah.
I think Coastal gets it done over Virginia, man. Virginia's just I'm just gonna keep fading this team.
Yep.
I know they're 2-1. They got a lucky win versus Wake. They came back and won that game, yeah. But then we got shown who they really are versus Maryland. I think Coastal Carolina is better than what people thought they were going to be. Certainly what I thought they were going to be.
For sure.
Yeah, give me Coastal. Their offenses look great so far. Their defense is improved. At home here, you're going to give me points. Give me Coastal for sure.
Yeah, Virginia's terrible, bro. We've said it earlier when we were talking about the Maryland-Virginia game. They're just awful. Their offense can't move the ball. Their defense can't stop the run. They're not great versus the pass either, but I think they're a little bit better than what they are versus the run.
Yeah, they are a little bit better.
Yeah, there's no way. There's no way I'm putting any type of money on the Cavaliers. They're terrible. So, yeah. I'm definitely rocking with Coastal money line. That will be a play.
Dude, I'm liking this quarter. I like this quarterback for Coastal, man. Ethan Vasco. He can run. He can throw the ball.
Dude, you know what he reminds me of?
Who's that?
It reminds me of Tim, dude. Tim Tebow. How like when he first got there, they were using him in Wildcat. They were using him, on the boundary just to kind of push it off. Like when they still had Grayson. And now he's like he's got the show, and it's like, dude, in a lot of ways, I'm not trying to sit here and crap on Grayson McCall, but he's looked better in some ways. Like he's a force. He's really good in the open field when it comes to trucking somebody. So I don't know, man. I think he's pretty solid.
Right. I got to go with Coastal here for sure, man.
For sure.
That stadium's going to be rocking.
Yep.
What
time's that game?
I was about to say, I thought it was actually a night game, but it's not. I don't know why I thought it was, but it's an afternoon game. Yeah, it's an afternoon game. I still think it's going to be a decent showing at that game for Coastal. The nice blue field. I've been there a few times myself. It's cool to see in person. It's teal, sorry.
I was about to say, what blue are you looking at?
Teal field, sorry. It's cool to see in person.
Boise.
It's cool to see in person, though, for real.
You've been there?
Yeah, I've been to a few games over there. I used to have friends I've had friends that went to school down there, so I went to do a few games. Hold on a second. I'm trying to pull up the slate again. To the next game, we will go to Rutgers, going to Virginia Tech. We got Virginia Tech here at home, -3.5 point favorites. Any thoughts on this one?
Honestly, call me crazy, but I'm thinking about taking VT up to 6.5 for plus money.
That's where I would think too. They haven't looked good so far, which is scary.
They gotta open it up at some point, man.
They gotta beat it. Yeah, they gotta beat a good team by some. They gotta prove it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Drones has got to get it going, man. Like,
he's just another Jalen Daniels, dude, and a really elusive quarterback that just makes stupid choices. Yeah, for sure.
12 rushes, 117 yards and a touchdown, 15 for 26, 176 yards and a touchdown. Yeah, he did his thing versus Old Dominion.
That's his type of game.
But like we said, though, that's Old Dominion. They're not good. So, yeah. I think Virginia Tech.
Go ahead.
I was going to say, I think Virginia Tech buy it up to 6. I like it. If you're scared, buy it down to 3 if you want the field goal. It's fine. I would lean the Virginia Tech side, too, in this game.
Yeah.
Rutgers is good. Don't get me wrong. They've looked impressive so far, but who have they really played?
Yeah, no, like
Akron and who else? Howard.
Yeah. You know how Josh feels about Howard.
Fuck you, Howard.
Fuck you, Howard.
It's fucking hilarious.
No, man, but I just think they've got to come up at some point. This has got to be it. I mean, I love them for a plus money spot this weekend. Give me -6.5,
And I'm interested to see what happens here because I'm actually going to see Virginia Tech the following week in Miami. That's going to be a hell of a game.
Yeah.
I'm going to the game with Josh.
Heck yeah.
It's going to be awesome. Yeah, it's going to be sick.
Mr. Puss.
Yes, sir. And we'll talk about that game for the podcast next week when that comes. But yeah, I like Virginia Tech in that spot as well.
Well, why don't we
Moving
have
on.
Mr. Plus on the podcast as I'm coming in with the football game in the background? Why don't we have Mr. Plus on the podcast next week?
If he's down, let's do it. I'm down. I'll hit him up.
Get him on.
Yeah, I'll ask him, see if he's down for it.
Let's
Sure,
do
he would
it.
love to. Sure, he would love to.
He's got to
come
throw on the
podcast.
shades, though. You know that.
Yeah, he's got to.
Got to.
Got to. But yeah, moving on, we got Auburn at home facing Arkansas.
That
Auburn
game is gross.
Yeah, it is. Auburn a 3-point favorite at home here. What you think about this one? 3-point spread. I kind of lean the dog off rip. What you got?
Dude, Auburn's new quarterback looked pretty solid last weekend. I'll say that much.
He did.
What's his name? Brown?
Mm-hmm.
Is it Hank
Oh,
Brown?
let me get the name correct for you. It is Hank Brown, correct.
Ha! Look at BK. No, man. I definitely think he looked much better than Peyton Thorne's bum ass. That's for sure.
Real. Then again, they played New Mexico.
Yeah. Well, okay. Well, they did lose that game last year, so that's something to remember.
They did. That shit was crazy. Yeah.
So, no, definitely Arkansas or nothing. That's for sure. There's no other way. Like, it's going to be an ugly game, though.
Wait,
like,
so you said you like Arkansas?
Yeah. If I have to lean one way.
Okay, that's who I lean. The dog. I lean Arkansas.
Yeah, for sure.
They did just play a close game with UAB, which is interesting, but I think Arkansas just has a good offense, good run game, man. I like what I've seen so far. I think they go into Auburn and get it done. Yeah, I would lean the dog here.
UAB, their head coach Trent Dilfer.
Yeah, I'm like 99% sure it is.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure
it is.
Anyway,
It is.
That was a random bit there, but anyway.
Makes sense as to why they covered. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, no, he has done good things there. I mean, there was a time when they were about to lose funding as a football program. So
100%. Moving on, we got Arizona State going to Texas Tech. And this is an interesting one. I'm kind of have my eyes on this one.
Okay.
Texas Tech a minus 3-point favorite here. Arizona State 3-0, going on the road again to Texas Tech. So they just played Texas State. Now they're playing Texas Tech. What you think about this? Because I'll say my opinion. I just want to hear what you think.
I don't know, man. Tech rolled last week.
They did. They played North Texas. Though.
I know they played North Texas, who's bummy as hell, but they rolled in that game. And I'm pretty sure that spread was like, I want to say it was 11. It was something, an odd number. But anyway, yeah, no, that's a hard matchup because it's just odd to me.
It is. And I'm not fully deciding yet, but
Arizona State?
I like Arizona State in this spot.
All right. So
I like what I saw from their offense versus Texas State. Granted, Texas State is Texas State. I like what I saw, though. They can lean on that big running back, Cam Scatterboo, man. He just runs right down the field, man. He's a tough dude.
What a name.
Yeah, what a name for real.
Scatterboo.
He's just a dog, though, bro. He just plays with that toughness, and he runs right downhill at you.
Yeah.
He's a tough back.
They have a lot of grit.
Yeah, they run with him, and they can open up the pass with their quarterback was decent. I'm not too impressed with what I saw with him, but I think Arizona State with the points and the money line is the play. I'm not really impressed with Texas Tech, man. I'm going to be honest. I've seen them versus Washington State. That defense is Swiss cheese. I think they can, if Arizona establishes the run early, they can run right down their throat. I would lean with Arizona State with the plus money. And they're undefeated still. So they're getting plus money. They're undefeated team.
For sure.
Because then next week after that, Arizona State has a bye. So I think they want to go into this bye undefeated. Then they would play Kansas at home. And in that game, I would take Kansas first then. So, yeah, give me Arizona State here. It's just my weird thinking there as well, looking ahead too. Yeah, give me Arizona State plus money.
You said you would do what the following week?
I would take Kansas over Arizona State. Yeah.
No.
Depending on the spread.
Banned.
Nah, you gotta know when to take them, bro. You gotta know when they're gonna turn it around. You know,
Banned.
We'll see how they play versus West Virginia, and then I'll think about that. Then we got Georgia Tech. This is an interesting one. Wow, Louisville minus 10.5 at home versus Georgia Tech.
Louisville.
Wow.
Louisville has one of the top offenses in the stinking country.
That's crazy though. 10.5, bro. Wow.
I think they average like second or third yardage wise in the country. They played nobody though. Like if you look at their schedule at the beginning of the year, they played no one.
Yeah, no. Nobody. They played what? Austin P and Jacksonville State.
Yeah, nobody.
Yeah.
But that's a lot of points.
I'm taking Georgia Tech with the 10.5. It's probably going to be a super square bet, honestly. But I got to take Georgia. Like, let me see who they got the following week, Georgia Tech.
Yeah,
they have a bye. Yeah, give me Georgia Tech with the 10.5. I think they get it done. Honestly, I might sprinkle the money line.
Okay.
Why the not?
Because, man, like we haven't seen Louisville enough versus a real team yet. We don't know.
And that's why I'm taking Georgia Tech.
All right.
We have seen them versus a real team.
Have we? What real team have they played? Syracuse and FSU.
They played Syracuse on the road. Tough game.
I'll give you that. But FSU
and I picked Syracuse in that game. So tough game. I think Georgia Tech, you're giving them too many points, bro. 10.5. Louisville is not that good, bro. I mean, they have not. Where have they showed us yet besides killing these two bum teams?
That's my point. We don't know exactly what we're going to get from them. They could come out and just freaking skull fuck the hell out of them. We don't know that.
You're right.
But
you're right.
I don't
crush them first half. They could.
I don't know, man. That for me, it's probably a stay away spot. I want to see what Louisville's made of. But if the money's there, the money's there. I hear it.
Yeah, I still haven't. I mean, obviously, I haven't made a bet on it yet, but that's where I would go is Georgia Tech. I would lean the dog 100%. They're disrespect. I like to go with dogs when they're getting disrespected like that. Like that's 10.5 points. I saw that and I was like, wow, that's crazy. I thought maybe 7.5, but 10.5. Nah, I would have to take Georgia Tech there. I think the offense is too good for that many points, in my opinion. Moving on, we got.
Give me the Liberty game, bro.
Nah, we're going to talk about this one now. USC Trojans going to the Michigan Wolverines, where we got USC favored by 6 points in the Big House. This is crazy. What you think about this?
I'm going up to 6.5 on this game as well, and I'm going to combine it with Virginia Tech.
Wow. So you're going to two-team USC and Virginia Tech.
Yes.
I wonder what that plus one that is.
Oklahoma State as well is another one that I'm thinking about throwing in there for big money. But I don't know, man. That Michigan's offense is abysmal. It's literally so bad. Like they put up 28 versus Arkansas State. They didn't cover again. Didn't cover versus Fresno State. We know they didn't cover versus Texas. I don't know. It's going to be another week of humble pie for Michigan fans, I feel like. So,
does Orgy get it going quick with the offense?
No, bro. I don't know. They're going to run freaking QB draw at least 3-4 times in the first 4 drives. I guarantee it. Like, that's all they do with him. He is inaccurate. He is literally a carbon copy of Joe Milton with less arm strength. That's all he is. Because Joe Milton was the same thing there, bro. A lot of people forget he played for Michigan. They used him a lot in that wildcat, like that punch style of offense. He can fling the ball 60 freaking yards, but he can't throw the 5-yard completion for shit. That's the problem.
Right.
So I don't know. Michigan, if Michigan's going to win this ball game, they're going to run it straight down USC's throat, keep the game slow, a Big Ten style of game.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't see
it.
Miller
on defense,
yeah, but I just don't see it, man. Miller Moss is going to have to watch out for Nolan Johnson. There's no way you're going to be able to throw in his direction. Don't try it. He's the best corner in college football for a reason. But other than that, dude, I mean, the only thing that I could see them from stopping it is their defense, Michigan's defensive line, just getting way too much pressure on USC's O-line. But USC has some great pieces on their O-line, man. A lot of people don't know that. They got a good left tackle, a good center. So I don't know, man. If I'm going to go one way, like I said, I'm going to take USC. USC money line, probably. I'll throw in a parlay. USC with the points. So
I'll be honest. Sure. I don't know about the spread is what concerns me. Like,
think it's too high?
I low-key think it's too high for USC. Like, we just saw Texas come in there, and they were about the same spread. You know,
But that
maybe
was
is it,
also off the hype of last year. I feel like they're trying to respect the
I get
fact that
that. Yeah,
Michigan's in the big house. We know what Michigan is now, and they look sorry.
true. Got a point. Yeah, that's true.
Told you so.
I would still lean. Yeah, I would still take USC as well, but I just don't like that number. Something about that number just seems a little sketchy to me.
I
So
feel it.
probably won't bet it, but I would take USC.
Now, quick, Coach BK, if you could just say for me quickly that parlay again, nice and clear, so everybody can hear it.
Yeah, if I have to rock with a probably a little 3-piecer that I'll throw something on, is VT alt line -6.5 plus money. USC alt line -6.5. Don't think that's for plus money. It should be a little bit above, the money of 110. I think is where it is for what -6.
Yeah,
Oklahoma State probably going to buy it up to a full TD. I think they're going to dog walk Utah. So especially if they have Ali, Zach Wilson's little brother starting at quarterback for Utah, looks solid, but even still, I feel like they're going to get embarrassed.
yeah, and we'll talk about that game now. Yeah, I like Oklahoma State in that game as well. Utah coming in as -2.5 point favorites though is
Pokes.
crazy. Yeah, give me Oklahoma State with the plus money at home. I think that line is gonna probably flip.
Yeah, no, that's
Saturday.
why I said 6.5 because I fully expect that line to flip.
Yeah, that line is gonna flip for sure. If
Yeah.
y'all see this podcast, go ahead and lock Oklahoma State
Got
in
to.
with plus money. That's where I would go to. I like what I've seen so far from the offense at home.
Defense
First
needs
I-
work.
Defense does need work for sure, and that's where Utah, leans on mostly now, especially with no Cam Rising. That's rough. But yeah, Utah's defense is strong.
Yeah,
So we'll see how that offense goes against that defense.
for
But
sure.
I still like Oklahoma State with plus money. Moving on, we got Liberty ECU. Talking about this one. Liberty at home -7 versus the East Carolina team that we just made money fading.
Yep.
So what do you think about this? Are we fading them again?
Yeah,
or
another
are
week
we
of fading. It's going to
fading
be
them
another week.
again?
Yeah, another week of fading for me. I'm gonna take them. I'm gonna buy it down 0.5, take them 6.5. Liberty.
I think I'm with you. I think I'm with you. Only thing that worries me is that Liberty's going to App State next week. Could be a look ahead spot, but
Yeah.
I just think Liberty's just too talented both sides of the
Exactly.
ball.
Exactly.
I think they're going to win this game by a touchdown or more. Yeah, it would be Liberty or nothing for me too as well. Probably could be a bet. Yeah, I'm gonna go with Liberty -7 there. Maybe just buy it down 1/2 to 6.5.
Got to. Don't
push. Yeah,
don't risk the push. That'd be silly.
Moving on, here's an interesting one. Back to this Florida State team we go. California come into Florida State, a +2 dog here. Florida State, the -2 favorite versus Cal. Wild. Never thought you would say Florida State's only a -2 point favorite versus Cal.
At some point, they got to win, bro.
Right.
I'm not going to
Could
bet
just
them,
be the
but at
game.
some point, they have to win. There's
It's
no
like-
way, dude.
Right. It's like roulette at some point, or it's got to hit. It hits red 10 times in a row. It's got to hit black next time, right?
Yeah.
That's what I think about this. But at the same time, I don't want to catch a falling knife. I'm not doing it.
I
I
can't.
can't.
Especially if they said they were if they said they were starting Tate, I would probably take them.
Right.
If they made a change, and bench DJ, I would probably take them. But I just can't, dude.
I don't want to trust a QB with no confidence, man.
No, he hasn't
Everyone
had
just
confidence. He hasn't had
No.
confidence since his freshman year after he threw the pick 6 versus Georgia. I mean,
Right. No confidence. Everyone just talking bad about. Yeah, I'm good on that, man. It would be Cal or nothing for me there. Even though Florida State could very well win and finally hop out of the slump.
Yeah,
but
if I had
I'm
to
good.
pick one, it's probably Florida State. With the points,
I'm going
but
Cal just because I'm not catching the falling knife.
I hear you. I mean, I'm not betting it, that's for sure. But if I had to take one, it's definitely going to be Florida State because there's no way. at some point they have to win. If they go 0-4, bro, like
Yeah, that could be the right
somebody's
spot
gonna
for
get
him.
fired. Like
It could be the right spot for him, honestly, because people are just gonna keep fading him. So yeah, maybe you're right. Maybe it could be the right play there. But I'm gonna just go with the dog. Why not?
I hear
Keep fading them. Any more that I want to talk about here before we wrap up the show? We got
TCU.
Tennessee, Oklahoma.
Ooh, this one I like too.
This is where game day's at. So
Yep.
we got to talk about this one. We got Tennessee going on the road to Oklahoma, 7-point favorites on the road. What do you think about this one?
Buying down to 6.5 in a rock. Nico's gonna have a day. Jackson Arnold looked terrible last week. Who did they play? Give me a little refresher here.
They played Tulane. Yeah. Tulane.
They almost gave the game away late. Arnold threw a sorry pick six. I don't know, man. They still look inexperienced. And I thought BV's defense would look a lot better than this, but it just hasn't looked great. But they haven't looked bad either. That's why I can't sit here and be like, it's not last year. That's for sure. It is not Oklahoma of last year. I definitely think they've improved on that aspect. But Tennessee looks scary, like extremely scary, dude. Like they could be one of those teams that you're talking about, to get one of those last playoff spots, that 10, 11 range, something 9, you know what I'm saying? I could see it because they're uberly talented. Their defensive line.
I like the coach a lot.
Heupel's a great coach. He's done great with Nico, living up to his quarterback whisperer name. I think Nico is probably going to be the best quarterback in college football for, I don't know, maybe in the next 3 years. Him and probably Raiola. But they're just two exceptionally good young guys. They got Squirrel White over there as well. Their running back is a dog. Their D line is massive.
Phenomenal.
They have some very big human beings on their D line. They ate State alive. Now, I'm not trying to say Oklahoma's NC State. Let's not get it twisted. But even still, I still like Tennessee to take it. Going to Boomer Sooner Nation is not an easy thing. No. But even still, I for me, it's Tennessee at 6.5 or nothing.
I think the same exact thing there. Tennessee's already played in a big game this year. Granted, it was NC State, but still was a big game. Regardless, it was in Charlotte on a neutral field. Oklahoma hasn't been there in a big game yet. They've only played Temple, Houston, and Tulane so far. I just think it's going to be too much for them in the trenches, man. Not only that, just the talent at QB is just, like you said, exceptionally different.
Yeah.
Nico's way more talented, in my opinion.
I don't think it's I don't even think it's that he's more talented, because Jackson's extremely talented. Jackson Arnold's a great quarterback.
Yeah, you're right.
It's just he's young. He just makes stupid choices, man. And
Nico's more matured for
sure. He's the way more developed and mature talent. I will say that.
But I will say this: the 7 points, could it be too much on the road? Just because of, I don't know. That's the only thing that worries me. Maybe just take Tennessee as a money line piece and a parlay. That's probably where I would go.
Throw them in
or
USC.
Maybe live bet it. Yeah.
Throw them in USC and then a line you like. I mean, that's not a crazy option either. So
yeah, you could do that. But yeah, I would definitely lean the Tennessee side for sure. Moving on.
Give me the TCU game.
I think I already passed over that game. TCU and SMU.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got TCU minus 5.5 on the road at SMU.
That line jumped too then.
Yeah.
I wrote it this morning. When I wrote it down this morning, I think it was 3.5.
Yeah, it's 2.5.
It's at 2.5. Oh, okay, 2.5. Okay. I'm not.
Who you liking this one?
TCU. I would rock with them. They played really well last week. Had an eyesore of an ending. SMU really hasn't gotten going, in my opinion. Stones looked, decent, but I don't know, man. They haven't figured it out this year. I don't think they have any identity, which is crazy because SMU offenses are usually like extremely fast paced and a lot of yards. TCU with the points is probably the spot here for me.
I'm gonna have to disagree with you here. I would lean SMU here. Coming off of a bye, I just think that coming off a loss to BYU too at home off a bye, that's just an embarrassing loss at home, in my opinion.
But that's two
I think,
games, Rico.
huh?
That's 2 games that they just have looked bad.
Yeah, and
If they look bad
I
week
think
1,
everyone's so down on them that this is a perfect buy low spot.
I feel it. I understand
Yeah,
that. That
give
makes
me
sense.
SMU. I think it's a great buy low spot. Underdog at home versus an in-state rival. Yeah, give me SMU for sure.
Well, just swing me, why don't you? I hear you.
I
kind of feel that, honestly, because
it's the spot for me. It's not the more talented team. I don't think. Maybe definitely not coached better. I don't think either. But I just think it's the number one, the line. Number 2, the spot coming off of bye. Just like I said, yeah.
Sonny Dykes facing his former team there too.
And I don't like how TCU just choked the game. Don't like that either. So, yeah, they could be riding some downward momentum there. I would definitely lean SMU. Huh?
Did Sonny Dykes coach at SMU, or was it La Tech that he coached at? I keep having these random freaking thoughts tonight. I'm gonna just keep giving you random thoughts like this.
I'm gonna look it up while we move to the next game. Who we got next? We got Iowa and Minnesota, and this is an interesting one because the line's really close. I looked at this one. I looked at this one earlier today.
I'm not a totals better.
We got Iowa minus 2.5 going into Minnesota. What do you think about this?
I'm not a totals better, but what's the under?
35.5. That's so gross.
That tells you what kind of game it's going to be. It's going to be ugly, boring, and Big Ten football.
Yep.
Iowa's look bad, dude.
He did coach SMU, by the way.
He did coach SMU. Look at BK, 2 for 2.
2017 to 2021.
A little nugget for you right there. Garrett Riley was his offensive coordinator and quarterbacks coach.
There you go.
Crazy enough.
So that's interesting.
Yeah, but I don't know. He's facing his former team in that spot. But get back to the game we were on, Iowa and Minnesota. It's going to be boring, bro. If I got to lean one way, it's going to be Iowa just based off their defense. Who's home?
Minnesota is. And it's a night game. Makes it more interesting. The line is what makes it interesting, too. People would think Iowa's the way better team here, I don't know. It's tough. I got to see where this is a game where lines like this, these are lines where I got to see where they move.
Yeah.
The week. Like sometimes when we tell y'all stuff on here, we're just giving y'all our first thoughts. Stuff changes throughout the week. Like sometimes I've changed my picks, my whole pick, just because the line has moved so much. Like that's how crucial line movement is in college football. Like, yeah.
That's
sometimes
why
I try to anticipate it where it goes, and sometimes it goes the opposite of where I anticipated, So
yeah. That's why it's important to tune into the pod and to the live on the Saturday mornings. Me and Rico both go live on Saturday mornings, go through the whole entire freaking slate. We don't give out free cards or nothing like that, but we do, kind of tell you what we like in between each games.
Right.
You can take that for what it is, but sometimes, like Rico said, we do flip them because line movement happens, and you're not going to end up looking like a square idiot. So it's important to tune into both. That's for sure.
Tune into both for sure, man. We're gonna do those lives every Saturday, pretty much the whole season if we can.
11 a.m. Eastern.
Yeah, dude, it's growing by the week, so let's just keep doing that. And a couple more games we'll go over. We got Boston College. No, we got Michigan State going to Boston College, and we got Boston College a -7-point favorite here. Wow. Over undefeated Michigan State team. What do you think about this?
They're not undefeated. They lost to Florida Atlantic.
Michigan State did not.
Oh, no. They almost did. My fault.
Yeah,
they almost did. I remember watching that game. They didn't cover. That's what it was.
They didn't cover.
My apologies.
Good.
Nah, man. Both new head coaches, both pretty much brand new teams on both sides of the football. It's crazy. A lot of turnover for both programs. Games in BC.
Mm-hmm.
Give me BC.
I like BC. They just came off a loss to Missouri, kept it close. This team covers too.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, give me a team that can cover. I like BC with the 7. I think they win this game by a touchdown or more.
Take it down to 6.
State gets humbled. I think Michigan State gets humbled in this one.
Okay.
It's time for them to get some humble pie. They're not. That good. they're not, as people say, they're not that guy. So
You're not that guy, pal.
yeah, they're not that guy. So I'd like Boston College in that one. And then we got Baylor going to Colorado.
Well, okay, I said this to you earlier. How
That's a
in
weird
God's green earth does Colorado keep getting these primetime games every single week? Is it because our coach is primetime?
Yeah, about to say you just said it because his name's Prime. Yeah.
Bro, 8 o'clock game every single week. When they
On
played
Fox.
North Dakota State, prime time. When they played Nebraska, prime time. What was it last week? Who'd they play? Colorado State, prime time.
Yep.
I'm like, dog, like, how many freaking night games are they going to get in a season? Anyway, regardless. I don't know.
-2 though is crazy.
I kind of like Baylor as a dog.
I do too.
Am I crazy to think that? Like,
no, just because the line solely based off the line is why I go that way. Like -2. Why are they only That's literally putting the freaking fishing rod out there, some bait right on it, just begging people to take Colorado. Everyone in America, just please take Colorado. Like,
this is the
that's
same
literally
thing.
the perfect game for it.
This is the same thing that happened from week 1 when we said, when we were talking about the North Dakota State game, and I remember this because we were like, every square in America is going to go take Colorado with the points. Man, Colorado money line, Colorado with the points.
They won, but they didn't cover.
No, yeah, for me, it's Baylor or nothing. I mean,
that's what I think too. Coming off a big win versus their rival too, Colorado.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, it would be Baylor or nothing to me. Yeah.
I
don't got too much else to say about that. Moving on, probably to wrap up this show. We got Kansas State late night game. Kansas State going to BYU, or we got Kansas State -7 on the road at BYU.
That seems low.
This could be an upset.
I don't know, bro. I don't know. I feel like that line should be higher.
Yeah, I feel like
it should be like 9.5, like 9. Like if for Kansas, like Kansas State has answered the bell. Sure, they didn't look great versus Tulane. They smacked Arizona around like a redheaded stepchild.
And that's the thing. People are going to be so high on them this week.
Yeah, no, I feel it.
This is the spot where you fade them. I don't know.
Okay.
I think BYU at home, bro. That's another stadium.
Yeah, that's true.
Especially at night, dude. That place is going to be jumping versus a ranked opponent. So I would go BYU.
Of white people in that place.
A whole bunch of Mormons. Whole bunch of Mormons in there. Seriously, a whole bunch of Mormons in there. But I would lean BYU with the 7, man. Give me BYU with the touchdown at home.
Yeah, I hear you.
I know Avery Johnson's that dude, but
I probably won't touch it, man. It might be, it
I'm
might
not
be
sure
one of those
I am
games.
either.
It might be one of those games, depending on how the day goes, I might rock with it. You understand what I'm saying? Like earlier when we did the pod last week, I said I wasn't touching the Colorado State game, and by nightfall of Saturday night, I was betting on Colorado. So
right,
it just happens that way. Sometimes,
by 10:30, I'm asleep, so I don't even know if I'll be up then.
You're freaking Old Man River. I can't help you go to bed and get up at 4 a.m.
Nah, but that'll wrap up the show, y'all. I appreciate everybody tuning in. You can follow us both on Instagram at Coach BK_Picks is the new tag.
Coach _BK Picks is the new tag. Rebrand. Yeah, man. Nice. Appreciate Cal hooking me up with that, man. We're gonna be rolling out some more stuff, so stay tuned for that. Make sure, like we said already, you tune into the live show, 11 a.m. Saturday morning. Got
on
you, man.
Instagram. Y'all tune in to my page at Rico's Locks. As y'all know, Cal, appreciate you doing everything, man. We'll see y'all next week. We're ready for next week. Next week I'm headed to Miami.
We doing a show from Miami?
No, but I'm headed there next weekend. Can't do the show from there.
No palm trees in the background is what you're telling me?
We'll do the live show from there.
All right, bet. That's a bet.
We'll do the live show from there. I'll see y'all next week.
All right.
Good show.